Well, Donald Trump is headed in the right direction when all the right people are ticked off. Right now, the mainstream media is literally losing their ever-loving mind, and you guys are going to smile ear to ear when you find out why. But not just the mainstream media, the old Democrat, shall we call him a fixer, Barack Obama, is back in the news and panicking over Donald Trump's latest move. And not just him, but Al Gore, lying Al Gore, as I like to call him, and even Gavin Newsom. They're all up in a straight up panic right now, and you're going to smile ear to ear. I've got a lot to share with you in today's broadcast, but as a quick reminder, please make sure you're subbed to the channel and share this video, by the way, with everyone you know, and hit that like button, because outside of you guys, it does not get shared. But take a look at this. This is on the New York Post. Trump, Zeldin rolled back Obama-era climate change rule, saving each American more than $3,800. This is a good move for the American people because it's very burdensome taxes that the Obama administration put on us that never should have been there in the first place. But it goes on to state that President Trump and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin unveiled what they called the biggest red tape removal in U.S. history on Thursday, axing a sweeping Obama-era anti-greenhouse gas policy and predicting it could save about $1.3 trillion or about $3,823.50 per U.S. resident. It goes on, the repeal ends a policy allowing the feds to regulate fossil fuels by declaring them dangerous to the public, kind of like they do, by the way, with tobacco or alcohol. They're saying fossil fuels are dangerous, so therefore we're going to add taxes in one way, shape, or form. But this so-called endangerment finding allowed the EPA to measure and constrain the output of 6 greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act, including emissions of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide by vehicles and power plants. Trump called the finding a disastrous Obama-era policy that severely damaged the American auto industry and massively drove up prices for the American consumer, predicting they would save trillions of dollars as a result of Thursday's action. A detailed saving breakdown was not released. Now, the president added that his administration was terminating all green emission standards imposed unnecessarily on vehicle engines between 2012 and 2017, and it lowers the cost of the car by about $2,400. Dun, dun, dun. So what exactly got repealed? Well, before I get into that, I got to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. Take a look. This is at lisahavengold.com. Something is brewing right now. You can feel it in the air. The problem is you never know the full story until after it's too late, after the crash, right? And here's the brutal truth. You cannot protect yourself after the bad happens. You have to be ready right now. And that's why people are turning to Noble Gold Investments in droves, where they're getting their hands on physical gold and silver, tangible assets. They aren't just investments. They are preparation for future things. They're the very foundation of real protection. If you guys want to check it out, go to lisahavengold.com, fill out this information right now, click send me my free wealth kit, and they're going to email you that free wealth kit. And better yet, call one of their specialists. There's no pressure, no games, at 1-877-646-5347. Let them know Lisa Haven sent you, and they are giving away this amazing 3-ounce, by the way, you can see how thick it is, silver virtue coin with any new and approved plan. So make sure you give them my name as well. And by the way, there's always a risk to investing. There's never a guarantee. If you want more info, if you're on your cell phone, click that more button or check out the link in the description box below or the pinned comment. So with that, I want to tell you guys real quick as well about my brand new channel. As you know, they haven't been really sending out notifications on this channel. They're still doing it right now at Lisa Report. So subscribe to that new channel. I'll leave a link, but just plug in Lisa Report on YouTube and you should easily be able to subscribe to it. But with that, what was some of the stuff that was rolled back by President Donald J. Trump? And I've got this here. Right, and this is kind of a breakdown of it all. But in 2009, Barack Obama the EPA said that climate change was an endangerment, right? That's what they ruled. And so this gave them the justification to put a lot of mandates in, like on your cars, on your automotive, and even in multiple industries, right? Oil industries. But starting in 2010, the EPA and National Highway Traffic Safety Administration began issuing tailpipe emission standards for passenger cars and light trucks, right? This is one of the things that was revoked. Almost all of these regulations have been revoked. By the way, in 2024, the Biden admin increased GHG tailpipe emission standards on light duty and medium vehicles to slash CO2 emissions by 410 millimetrics, whatever, marking a 37% decrease. The Obama and Biden admin also championed credits, which allowed automakers to make changes to their vehicles or whatever to build climate-friendly cars. Also, those off credits resulted in things like the stop-start feature on a lot of the new cars. I've got one on mine, and I've got it turned off the entire time. I don't use the darn thing. It is just annoying. But both the Obama and Biden administrations ramped up emission regulations on oil, natural gas, and coal plants. Almost all of these have been eliminated by the Trump administration. And of course, the radical left is throwing an ever-loving freaking fit. If you look at some of the stuff that the mainstream media has shared, and it's all the same talking points. I don't understand why anybody listens to the mainstream media. I have to read it because I can go through it and then give you my opinion, but I read it so you don't have to, right? But look at this. They use the same words. Landmark ruling. Trump revokes landmark ruling that greenhouse gases endanger public health. Trump rolls back landmark policy regulating gases. Trump rolled back environmental regulation. Trump's EPA announces revokes key research behind climate change. Trump rolls back landmark policy. So you can see a lot of them have that key landmark. Here's another landmark by The Guardian. So you have The Guardian, you have PBS, you have BBC, all using the exact same language. I mean, good golly. I mean, they could at least pretend, maybe use a different word, but no. The mainstream media is just one big throw up for the Democrat Party and really radical leftists. And hey, let me be even more specific with you. It is more of the uber elite, those at the World Economic Forum, those 1%ers at the top, those really rich people who are controlling things, the intelligence community, those embedded within it. So they are following the directive of them. And they all puke up the same stuff. And this is how we know we're on the right path. And thank goodness that we have Donald Trump in office, because he's already rolled back a lot of the stuff with the UN. He got us out of the crappy Paris Climate Accord, not once, but twice, because Biden put us back in. If we get a Democrat president in, we're going to get back in it. And I hope to God that never happens ever again, quite frankly. But of course, that's not necessarily going to be the case. But either way, they are having a hissy fit. So much so that they had to send in their fixer, Barack Obama, because he is very loved there on the left. And so he actually made a statement on these Trump new restrictions or pullbacks that he's done. And here's what Barack Insane Obama has said. Today, the Trump admin repealed the endangerment finding, the ruling that served as the basis for limits on tailpipe emissions and power plant rules. Without it, we're not going to be safe if you don't give us your money, less healthy and less able to fight climate change. Also, the fossil fuel industry can make even more money. And let me just be frank, shutting a car off for 0.5 seconds at each stoplight isn't really saving the planet, but I digress. Maybe if these people didn't buy and didn't use all their high-powered jets, that'd actually save a lot more money. You know, maybe you just fly like a regular person instead of having your own private jet. Oh, not to mention, this is the same guy that just bought Martha's Vineyard home on an oceanfront retreat, you know, where all the water is supposed to go high, you know. But hey, never mind that fact, because it doesn't seem like he actually believes the stuff he's putting down. He's still flying his jets. He's still building stuff on the coastline. But hey, those rules are only for you and me, the little Barack Obama peons, shall we say. They're peons. But guess who else it ticked off? Mr. Al Gore. This is liar in chief. Just a reminder, because I think this is a good time. In 2006, Al Gore put out a documentary, The Inconvenient Truth. The problem was, it wasn't true. Most of it was absolutely wrong. Here is his wrong things that he got wrong. Sea levels. Gore suggested sea levels would rise by 20 feet Well, Barack Obama's mansion would be gone if that was the case. But anyway, by 20 feet in the near future, while actual rates have been much slower, totaling about a few inches since the film's release. Oh, ow. Arctic ice claims that the Arctic ice the ice could freeze up by 2014 to 2016. Obviously, that didn't happen. Kilimanjaro snow, the prediction that snow on the mountain would disappear within a decade. That didn't happen either. Scientific accuracy. A UK High Court judge identified 9, although mostly minor, significant errors and exaggerations in the film altogether. Oh, well, but back to Al Gore. Here's him crying a river. The Trump administration is once again trying to deny science and reality. No, I think that's you, but I digress. This time by throwing out the well-established research connecting the climate crisis to public health. While the Trump administration can try to ignore the crisis, it's painfully clear that the crisis will not ignore us. Last summer, the U.S. experienced a dozen once-in-a-thousand-year floods in the span of just 3 days. In Texas, one of those floods even killed people, sadly, including 37 children at camp. Let me just be frank with you. This crap is no different than what happens every single year. It's called normal climate fluctuations. This happens all the time. Very bad, but there's no difference than anything that has happened before. It's not sudden uptick. But anyway, the Trump administration rollback of the endangerment finding is not only a direct assault on science and knowledge and public health. It's an insult on the people across the country who are coping with disaster. The decision to revoke the endangerment finding is one of the more erroneous examples of the Trump administration prioritizing fossil fuels over American families. So if they're not allowed to tax you to death, then shame on you. I wonder if some of these regulations that were put in by Obama and Al Gore, maybe this hits their pocket. They put a lot of money into the green industry, anti-fossil fuels. Just saying. But hey, there's that. And then, hey, it also pissed off another chamoke here. Mr. Gavin Newsom, Donald Trump's administration is falsely claiming that greenhouse gases are not a threat to public, breaking the law. Whoa. I don't think he's groveling to the oil industry when you're stopping a 0.5 second rule that turns off your car. What the hell does that have to do with the oil industry? But anyway, California is going to take action like they do with everything. Trump has been the most sued administration ever in the history of presidents of the United States. It is literally sickening. But anyhow, I did want to share all of that. On a side note, right, I want to get into the SAVE Act because I want to encourage you guys to call your senators and talk to them because we are at a precipice. And here's what I'm talking about. This is on the Gateway Pundit. SAVE Act reaches 49 co-sponsors. GOP now just one vote away from the 50 threshold if they do a standing filibuster, which they're actually talking about. On Wednesday, right, the House of Representatives voted in favor, 218 to 213. There was a Democrat, Cellular, who voted with us. So this is great. It passed the House, but now it's on to the Senate, and that's where the real battle is. But anyway, Anna Paulina Luna has come out and revealed that the leadership there, that the Senate is moving towards a zombie filibuster and restoring an old school standing filibuster in order to pass the SAVE Act. And I am hoping that it passes, right? Because if that's the case, all they have to do is stand up, give their blah, blah, blah about why they disagree or agree with the SAVE Act. And then after that, the vote is taken. And if we've got 50 votes, we're in like Donkey Kong or whatever the statement is. I think there's a different statement. I might have totally butchered that. But anyway, all we need is 50. Here are the holdouts right now that are holding us back. Lisa Murkowski, a Democrat who pretends to be a Republican. Mitch McConnell, same thing. Susan Collins and Thomas Tillis. We need to get them moving. So especially if you're in one of those states, give these people a call, talk to them. You can see the numbers on the screen and tell them you need them to pass the SAFE Act. So there we are. With all of that, I want to thank you guys for being here on the broadcast. I've got so much going on here. Don't forget to subscribe to my new channel there, Lisa Report on YouTube. Anyhow, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.